I'm watching this with my two sons, 6 and 4.
Yep.
And
Are they talking?
they're not talking. They would never talk, Jay.
God right.
I would break their necks, right?
And throw them into the screen.
That's right. I'd be on the 5 o'clock news. Father kills 2 boys for
talking in the movie
theater.
Uncle says, yeah, that's about right.
It's about right. He's in jail now too. They share a cell together. Match made in heaven.
Welcome to A Cast with No Name. We're your hosts. I'm Jay.
And I'm Matt.
This is episode 13, Monday, July 11th, 2022. This episode, we will be discussing Thor, Love and Thunder. We will also be touching on a couple of trailers, news, and we will be talking about The Boys Season 3 finale. But first, don't forget to visit our new website, acastwithnoname.com, where you can comment on episodes and shoot us an email at contact.acastwithnoname@gmail.com. And before we get into anything,
Jay's got a bone to pick.
I do.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Theater etiquette. So the wife and I, we went and saw Thor Thursday evening. And
so you saw the preview.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah, because it opened
on Friday.
It opened on Friday,
Yeah.
and then I was trying to figure out why. I didn't know, because I knew at first they started doing midnight showings about 20 years ago.
Around there, yeah.
And then technically it was released on the same day because
Yeah.
it was midnight.
Yep.
And then they started doing like 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and still technically, I think they were playing with time zones. Like, well, Greenwich Mean Time.
Right.
So I didn't know if they just went full circle and just, oh, fuck it, we'll do the whole day before. But so yeah, I guess we saw the preview. But we caught the 6:30 showing, and
6:30.
Yeah, it was. I left work early for this.
Wow, I just can't believe they showed it that early.
Yeah,
Well,
they had showings earlier in the day. They had
Really?
showings at 5. They had, I think, up until like 3 or whatever. I mean, so it was pretty much released the
On
full
Thursday.
day before. Yeah, and
I'm out of the loop. I didn't know it was that early. If I would have known that, damn.
Yeah.
I went. All right.
Take
Well,
a
now I
half
know.
day. Yeah.
Now I know.
But anyways, we were there. And 2 things, and I have not been to the theaters a lot since COVID, but the movies I've seen in theaters since COVID was James Bond, the No Time to Die, and then Spider-Man, No Way Home, and then Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
You saw the Batman.
Oh, and the Batman, and forgot about that, along with everybody else. And then Thor, Love and Thunder.
Yep.
And I think that, so of the 5 times, theater experience was great. And surprisingly, I had not run into any goofballs in the theater. However, that streak ended Thursday when we watched. The first instance was the theater we went and watched it has those recliners. So you're able to reserve your seats. We like it like that because we could show up whenever, stop at the concession. I don't have to worry about getting center. It's already there.
Yep.
Which is the proper way to watch a movie.
It is the proper way to watch. I can concur.
Front row, what are you, 4? No,
Yes.
that's not. Back row? No, unless you're getting a handy, you don't need to be in the back row.
That's right.
But so center. That way you can get the full view. You don't have to be panning your head left and right, trying to catch all the action.
Yep.
So anyways, we're sitting there, and then in comes a young family and parents and their, I'm assuming, 3 or 4-year-old child. And first, and I mean, she was adorable. She was walking through, waving at everybody as she was going down the.
She's 3. She's
aisle.
4.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I was like, okay. And she sits down. Trailers start playing. Commercials are going. Completely silent, quiet. And I'm like, nice.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, I'll allow it. You can watch. And I completely forget she's there until the movie starts. Then she wants to talk. And blah, 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 blah. And I am not opposed to children going to theaters. I understand I am not opposed to bringing your kids to a movie.
Yeah.
However, if you are questioning whether your child can sit through an entire movie or would be able to handle it or sit through it quietly, maybe not go on the opening day of
It's a good rule of thumb.
highly
That's fair.
of like a large fan base movie.
I'm right there with you. It's fair.
I mean, and it's not, I mean, it was Thor. It wasn't, I mean, it's not like a Minions. If I went and saw the Minions, I'd expect that
Right.
no matter what's showing.
Sure.
When I was like years ago, like Wall-E, I was really looking forward to that movie when it came out. And I remember I specifically went to the
Night showing.
Yeah, it was like a 10 p.m. showing.
Right.
And because I was like, I was really looking forward to this. I didn't want a lot of, and there wasn't, it was mainly all adults that wanted to go see that movie. But yeah, she was talking the entire time. I will say this, the mother grabbed the keys and they went somewhere else. So
she took,
yeah, this was like probably maybe a half hour into it.
ooh,
She wasn't calming down or anything. So she took her. So kudos for that. The other instance, this person knew better.
wasn't for
Guy with some neck beard or some shit, but it's like he never saw a movie before, but he was reacting like, we get it, dude. You're a fan. You know what's up. Or just one of those people to where something quote unquote shocking would happen or funny. And it's something funny that happened in the trailer and they laugh at it like it's the first time they've seen. Like, shut the fuck up. You've seen that. You're not, no one, like, if something funny happens in the trailer and then it's in the movie, you're not allowed to laugh. That's a law. That should be a law.
It is a law, right? You go to jail for that.
Yeah. And
no parole.
It's like, that fuck, you've seen it before. You knew it was coming. But yeah.
I can see you just stewing in your fucking seat.
I'm sitting there like Jerry Lungardner's father-in-law from Fargo, just like watching the football game, squeezing his ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, it, like, if a quote unquote like a twist or something I'm using air quotes, people.
Yeah.
Something shocking happening, like, oh, mid-credit scene.
It was really that bad?
Oh God, mid-credit scene. Which, spoiler, if you haven't seen Thor: Love and Thunder, you probably have. But at the end credit scene, one of them is someone shows up to Valhalla.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, and you see a character that you haven't seen in a while. And the guy's like, oh. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, the guy was like in his 20s. And
did he make a mess in his pants?
Yeah, I don't know. But what's the point? Like, is he hoping to make like a large enough reaction that he's fielding questions out in the lobby like he's head nerd or something? I just don't get the overreaction. We get it. You exist.
Maybe you're just not as passionate, Jay.
I guarantee that. Oh, that's a fucking fact. But theater etiquette, I don't know. I mean,
I'm with you with that. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Taking it a step further, that's why I haven't let my kids see the sky. Every birthday, I give them a chance
to see the sky.
Yeah, we go outside.
Yes.
They make a single noise. Nope, right back inside. You're not ready. You need to be quiet. Children should be seen, not heard.
Father of the year over
there. I'm just saying.
Well-behaved children.
Exactly. That's the key.
They shudder at the sight of other human beings. Good for you, Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be wonderful people.
Yeah. And I get it. If they couldn't find a sitter, whatever.
Sure.
But
go see Minions.
Well, go see Thor, but don't see it opening day. Wait a week.
Sure.
Go see it on a Tuesday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or Sunday at 11 a.m. or something to where there's not going to be a lot of people.
That's what I did. And I took my boys, who are 4 and 6, at the 11 a.m. showing on Sunday.
Did they make a peep?
No. Well, we'll get into what my son asked me, but no, they didn't make any noise.
Because if I was there,
because I stuffed their faces with popcorn and candy,
I would throw them through the screen.
Yeah.
And teach them the respect that is needed for a theater.
And they'd be like, yay, Uncle Jay's throwing me. Again.
But yeah, it's just, it boggles my mind the fact that people don't I don't know if they think they're being funny, if it's got to be an attention thing. I never understood it.
And he was alone. Or was he with someone?
I think he was with some, but all of it, like everyone else, if he was with somebody, you didn't really hear anybody else.
Right. Okay.
Like, and if that was one of my friends, I mean, I've told my parents to shut the fuck up in the theater before. I have no qualms about that. Buddy of mine, I still remember we went and saw Spider-Man 2, and he leans over, he's like, and it was like the opening swinging sequence. He goes in between the semi and the trailer, and he leans over, he's like, these action scenes are making me hard. And he meant it as a joke.
Sure.
And he's trying to be funny. And I immediately reciprocated the act, and I said, shut the fuck up and watch the goddamn movie. And I mean, we were in high school at the time or whenever that movie came out. So it's never been, I don't understand. I get laughing. I get the, I mean, and I'm not saying you can't laugh, you can't have an expression, but just the over the top bullshit.
Don't go over the top.
Yeah. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's not about you. People didn't pay money to hear you react.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
It's proper etiquette.
Watch the fucking movie.
It's a lost art. I can't say that. Most people are cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Most people are. I think I haven't noticed it being as bad before COVID. I think since COVID, I feel like it's calmed down a lot. But I mean, I've been in the theater 5 times in the past 6 months, so I feel like that was the only instance I've felt. But
and he was sitting right next to you.
He wasn't sitting next to me. He was actually 4 rows.
Holy shit!
He's a ways back. Like it was enough to where I'm like, where the fuck are you sitting? Because it sounded like he wasn't close, but it sounded far enough away to where I shouldn't be hearing him at that point.
He was acoustically positioned in the prime.
Yeah, it was like
point in the theater to just ruin.
They were designing the theater and they're like, well, how's the acoustics? The acoustics are really good, except if anyone sits in this seat, they're going to have a problem if this person over here is making a lot of noise, just because with the shape of the theater, it's going to be reverberating. But
you were at the inflection point.
I was.
Wonderful.
The parabolic curves, everything just met right there. It's a square room.
What if he was sitting right next to you? Would you politely said, "Hey, sir, could you just
see now?
You do Ross. You do the Ross. Like
I wouldn't do the Ross. Okay. What I've done to strangers is I wouldn't look at them. I wouldn't speak to them directly. If they would overreact, I'd just do a shh. And I just do that. And usually that's enough. People get the point.
Okay.
But,
and then he takes out his knife and stabs you.
Yeah.
I've only had that experience one time.
Yeah.
Me and Nicole saw Argo.
Okay.
Lady, four seats to the left of us. Just.
Probably the same lady.
Maybe. Oh, no, he didn't. I wouldn't go in there. Nope. Oh, he's going to screw you. Like, seriously, a commentary. It was a commentary.
Yeah.
The worst movie experience I've ever had. Because it was a good movie, too. So I was extra pissed off.
Mm-hmm. But the point is, like, if other people are paying money, I mean, it's not cheap anymore.
Not anymore.
And, I mean, it's just common courtesy. It's people are paying money to take time out of their day to come see this movie, and the last thing they want to hear is you fucking reacting to the thing exuberantly and over the top. I mean,
they want your experience to be better, Jay.
Yeah, that's probably
what they're thinking.
Probably. Like, you know what? I'm gonna do these people a favor.
I'm gonna
be fucking obnoxious.
That's right. They're gonna love it.
I'm funny.
I'm interesting.
And if a joke happens in a piece of dialogue, don't repeat it loudly and laugh, because it's not.
Oh, he was.
He didn't do that. That's just
that would have been.
That happened from I saw Boondock Saints Part 2 in theaters, and every time somebody said something quippy, he'd be like, and he'd just repeat the line. I'm like, oh, fucking shoot me, please. Not in the movie theater. Not in the movie theater.
Yeah, when I get home.
Yeah. but yeah, theater etiquette, people.
Yes, just come on.
I mean, which I'm sure anyone who listens to this, they don't even have to worry about that. No. So, all right. But yeah, new trailer dropped this week.
Yeah. Clerks 3, right?
Yep. What'd you think of the trailer?
I mean, I love Clerks. I even like the second one. I just don't know if this is going to have anything else to say. If it's clearly just fan service, which is fine, but it didn't strike me as funny. I don't know. I'm not really looking forward to it all that much. I don't think I'm going to go out and see it if it's in a select showing or something. I'm not to the point where I'm just a Clerks diehard fan to where I had a similar feeling to the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. That was, it was
See,
funny.
I haven't seen the reboot.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah. And since I saw that, I'm getting similar vibes. It's probably going to have the same sort of tone and jokes. And I mean, the reboot was fine, but it wasn't anything that's earth shattering or something that I would want to watch again.
Okay.
Nothing that funny. That's the feeling I got.
Yeah. It was nice seeing them as characters. I doubt I'll see it in theaters.
Yeah, I'd probably wait.
Depending on what kind of reviews. If people are like, oh, because I mean, at least like Kevin Smith, I feel like with his Clerks movies, I feel like he tries a little bit harder than everything else.
Even the first one?
The first Clerks?
Yeah.
Oh, as far as
I didn't think he tried hard. I just thought it was.
You just thought it was
phenomenal. I couldn't believe they made something that cheap and it was that funny.
But but what I mean is like he actually tries, as opposed to like Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I forget the time when, because Kevin Smith has been working on the script apparently for Clerks 3 for a while.
Yeah.
And I heard he was starting and working on the script for a couple of years, and then they released something for Jay and Silent Bob reboot. So obviously he did that. Like, I think he did that after, and then he was still working on Clerks 3. So I mean, I feel, or maybe he doesn't try harder. He puts more care into it. I feel like
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. So
he does. I see what you're saying now.
And the only thing I'm interested about that movie is because it's so meta and Randall making a movie. I mean, I'm interested to see how he positions the story, because Randall, according to the trailer, he's in a position to where, okay, I need to do something with my life. I need that sounds like Kevin Smith when he was 22 making this movie.
Sure.
Not so much as Randall or not so much as Kevin Smith at whatever.
Yeah. At 50.
Yeah. And maybe he's gonna, maybe Clerks 3 is going to be meta to where the way Randall feels about making that movie is the way Kevin Smith feels about making Clerks 3.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. But I mean, I'm interested in that standpoint. The on the nose stuff is like, oh, I'm not going to go back to the well. Only a hack would do that. And then it cuts to Kevin Smith and he
breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. And I don't know. I'll watch it. I liked Clerks. I liked Clerks 3. But
I hope it's not a lot of low grade humor like that, the obvious stuff.
Yeah.
If the conversations that, between Randall and what's the other character's name? Dante, or I enjoy that aspect. That's what I liked the most about Clerks 2 is just them like
bitching about movies and just talking about things that
just talking.
Yeah. And
having funny conversations.
Yep. And his Clerks movies usually have something nice to say.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping the trailer didn't give that away. I'm sure Dante's going to have his own thing going on, because usually it is Dante focused. But so I wonder if he's going to make comment on middle age or anything like that. But I enjoyed the first, second one. I tried watching, because I was a huge Kevin Smith fan when I was in high school.
Oh yeah.
And
Dogma's great.
Yeah, and I haven't seen Dogma in a while.
Very good.
I tried watching Chasing Amy. It's not Kevin Smith's fault. It's just extremely dated now.
Oh,
just because the conversation have you seen Chasing Amy?
It's been a long time. I've seen it a couple times for sure.
I mean, when it came out, it was kind of breakthrough. I mean, it was still an independent movie, but it had to do with Ben Affleck's character dealing with the fact that his girlfriend was a lesbian, but it was like, it's a very 90s look at homosexuality and what that means and how people can deal with that in a relationship if they have had a past. I mean, that's on the surface level, but then pretty much the whole movie is about dealing with things that your partner may have done in the past.
Yeah, I remember.
And
I do
insecurities
remember the
within there.
scene of where they suggested they should go in a three-way because God, who's the other character's name? Played by Jason Lee.
Banky.
Banky. Like Banky's in love with Holden.
Yeah.
I do remember that scene, and at the time thinking like, how's that going to solve this problem right now?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I'm like, what, this is 96, 97? I'm like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
does that part feel dated too? A little bit? Just the conclusion of how they're going to deal with the situation that they're in.
I think it's a very childlike look on how to deal with the situation, because I don't think Holden is gay. I don't think he's bi. I didn't get that. Yeah. And it just felt like a very childlike way to kind of resolve that situation,
right? To
where he thought he was being, and that's probably the point of the movie. He thought he was being profound, and his girlfriend was like, "That's the dumbest fucking idea I've ever heard." That. Yeah. And you're opening up a can of worms that you don't even want to open. Yeah. So, but I couldn't really get through it just because a lot of the dialogue, it was was it Banky, or is that his character in that's Brody? Banky is I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
There's different letters in the fucking alphabet, Kevin.
It doesn't matter.
Jason Lee doesn't only have to play a character that starts with B. But a lot of it was just conversation, is like Jason Lee's character talking with Joey Lauren Adams about, I mean, how do you guys fuck?
Right.
Like, and everything else. But
did you like Mallrats?
I did when I was younger. I tried to watch it again. I couldn't get through it.
Couldn't finish it?
I couldn't finish it. I haven't gone back to Dogma yet. Dogma, I feel like would hold up better. I think it's I think it was one of the better stories. It's got Alan Rickman in it.
I thought it was a great story. I like the whole journey in it, that aspect, and all the crazy characters you meet throughout. I like that movie a lot. I saw it a couple years ago. I think it still holds up.
Yeah. I'll have to.
I'm a big George Carlin fan too. Anything he's in, I like.
Oh yeah,
for the most part.
Yeah.
It's perfectly cast, by the way. George Carlin is the Archbishop Diocese. It's funny. just as an inside joke, it's pretty good.
But yeah. So I mean, Clerks 3. I'll watch it. I'm not sure if I'll see it in theaters. Yeah. If it gets pretty good reviews, I'll probably go see it in theaters.
It reminds me a lot of like the new Bill and Ted. Have you seen the new one? Bill and Ted Ride Again, or
Face the Music.
Face the Music, thank you. I got through it. It was a struggle for me to get through it.
Yeah.
It was just the humor from the first movie doesn't really translate to today. And it's just obvious. And Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter aren't being like, not stoner, but kind of dopey surfer California teenagers as adults. It doesn't translate at all.
Yeah.
That joke is just not there anymore. So it felt pretty flat. I hope it's not like that I'm getting that feeling with Clerks 3.
Oh, are you?
Just like with Dante and Randall still in the convenience store. Like, do they grow at all as human beings?
And that's the thing. Like, I wonder, I mean, maybe it does follow Randall but I mean, they both bought the Quick Stop.
Yeah.
So they're both owners.
Yep.
They're both doing that. Now I can get it to where maybe Randall's having his midlife crisis and he's never felt like he never really did anything. So I wonder if it will focus more on him, and Dante just kind of has his shit together because he's got a family. He's married to Rosario Dawson.
I thought buying the Quick Stop though was solving the midlife crisis. That's what they want to do with the rest of their lives.
Yeah. Or at least taking charge to where
just own a business and enjoy life. There's no crisis.
Yeah. It's and that brings up a good point to where I hope this movie feels like a completion.
Yeah.
Or presents something that feels like a completion, because I don't want it to feel tacked on to where, because if you make a trilogy, you want the whole thing to make sense.
Yeah.
Which hopefully he put some care and thought into that to where it wouldn't feel like a tacked on, I'm making this movie just to make money kind of a thing. But hopefully he made it because he had something to say.
Right. And maybe he develops a relationship with somebody in his life besides Dante. You know, Dante has his wife and, kids and stuff. And maybe there's a crisis of identity where it's just me.
Yeah. Or he leaves.
That could be it too.
and does his own thing.
Yeah. That could be interesting.
Yeah. So, oh, well.
Yeah.
That's coming out, I think, later this year. Sad news.
So sad.
Couple of weeks, Ray Liotta passed. And then I think it was like consecutive days or within 2 or 3 days of each other, James Caan and Tony Sirico, who played Polly Walnuts in The Sopranos, they passed.
Mob hits.
Yeah. It happens
It's
threes. It's tough.
What is it? Art reflects life?
Yeah.
Life reflects art. I don't know. How does it go? I forget that saying all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. Something
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Art imitates life. Or
there you go.
Yeah.
Damn.
Life imitates art.
And you just watched Thief.
Yeah, I did. Caan. I'd never, because everything, when I think of James Caan, a lot of people think of, well, as in movie articles, Thief, or they think of The Godfather.
Sonny Corleone.
Yep. And I didn't watch Godfather. My dad and I watched Godfather 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I was in high school. But I mean, Sonny isn't that. I mean, he's in Godfather 1, but I mean, of a 3-hour long movie, he's not in it that much.
No, he's not Michael.
Like. And so when I think of James Caan, the first role I comes to my mind is Elf. And because he plays Buddy's father.
Yeah.
And the second thing is Scott Caan, because he was in Entourage.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think of Misery.
Oh yeah,
it was like the first movie that I remember James Caan being in. You're right. I didn't see Godfather until later in life too, but I think of Misery. I just love that movie so much, and he's just awesome in it. It's my favorite Rob Reiner movie by far. I love the single setting movies and tack on a thriller on top of it, and 2 actors that are just on top of their game. It's awesome.
I think I need to watch that again then.
So good.
Because I loved him in Elf, just because when I first saw Elf, I knew the only thing I really knew of James Caan was Godfather, and I remember seeing him in that, to where he was like a tough guy and everything else, and then he's. One of my favorite scenes in Elf is when Buddy is like laying down his activities for the day. He's like, "Oh, I got our whole day planned out. We can make snow angels, and then we're gonna make some gingerbread cookies, and then after that, we'll snuggle." And James Caan's just sitting there at the table. He's like, "Look, buddy,
yeah."
he plays it so well.
Wow.
But yeah, saw
Thief. Weird.
It's
That's line. Love you. Oh, that was weird.
Buddy, is this an emergency? Yeah, there's a weird noise coming from the wall. It's an angry monster. It's like, it's just a radiator, buddy. Okay. Again, only for emergencies. Okay, I'll call you in 5 minutes.
No, don't.
Yeah. But yeah, so James Caan passed. Tony Sirico played Polly Walnuts, passed, which, I mean, I think Tony Sirico, he was 80s. I think.
He was older.
Yeah.
For sure.
And, but yeah, James Caan, I think he was also, I mean, he was
old. He was like 82.
Yeah.
Around
so, there. Yeah, I mean, they weren't young, but they weren't,
yeah.
I mean, they weren't too old. But yeah, I saw Thief Saturday night.
Never seen
it because everyone said, "Oh, Godfather and Thief," and so I was like, "Well, I'll give it a shot."
Yeah.
And
I can't believe I've never seen it. I love Michael Mann.
Yeah, directed by Michael Mann, came out in 1981. It was also the first film that Jim Belushi was in, and Dennis Farina.
Oh, NYPD Blue, Dennis Farina.
And he, and then also Robert Prosky, who you would know him. He was,
if I saw his face, yeah.
He was the landlord in Far and Away. Great movie.
I've seen it one time. I didn't like it.
Outrageous Fortune. He played the Russian.
Oh yeah.
He played the acting teacher.
Okay.
So that's right. It was Robert Prosky's. He plays a mob boss.
Okay.
In this movie, but
does Dennis Farina still have a comb over in 1981?
No.
Had a full head of hair, huh?
Hold on 1 second.
I feel like Dennis Farina is one of those guys who just is 40 for like 40 years. He's just got the comb over. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, because he was in Snatch, but when he was in this movie, he was still a cop. I think he was a Chicago, or I think he was in the Chicago Police Department. He was like he was one of the advisors or whatever, but he played a goon. And then his partner, and he didn't have, I mean, I think he maybe had one line in the movie or whatever, but
that's not who I was thinking of, by the way. I was thinking of Dennis Franz, the NYPD blue guy that came up with
oh yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he was in City of Angels, and yeah, that's Dennis Franz.
Damn, see,
yeah, Dennis Farina, he was in Get Shorty, Snatch, Manhunter, Midnight Run.
Yeah, he always plays like mob boss or cop or yeah.
And but him and his partner, I guess, were partners in real life on the police force. So a little random trivia there, but Willie Nelson was in it. He plays father figure to James Caan. But it's pretty much about James Caan plays a safe cracker, and he's doing one more job before he goes straight, and he's trying to piece his life together to where he wants it before he retires.
Okay. Well, nest egg.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very dark movie.
Like dark.
Yeah, it's like everything's shot at night, pretty much. A lot of shadows. They definitely had some good film speed on that but it was like a lot of rain, a lot of wet asphalt, just very dark. The music was done by Tangerine Dream.
Is it like a band?
They do like synth.
Oh, it's in your wheelhouse.
Oh,
you go to sleep tonight with it?
Yeah. Can you tell what the intro to the
Yeah. So it's like that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Michael Mann in Miami Vice. He's into the synth stuff for sure.
So as far as Michael Mann movies go, the whole movie I felt like stuff was cut out, like quite a bit. Like a lot of the characters, I like movies to where they just drop you in the middle of something and you just gotta figure it out. Like Cool Hand Luke. They don't explain it. It's just
you're there.
You're there. This kind of had that, except I felt like the character relationships were jumping around to where it didn't make sense.
A little discontinuous?
A little bit. But I think James Caan did very, very, I mean, his acting in this is pretty good. And Robert Prosky is pretty good in it. Every time I saw him, he looked like a cartoon character, just kind of not sinister. This movie, he did a pretty good job. I mean, he wasn't like the most evil character I've ever seen, but he's
supposed to be the villain in the movie.
Yeah, he was lovable, and then he turned on a dime.
Oh, okay.
And he did pretty good with that. But it was shot well. It was it just felt kind of like a moody movie. Kind of was like maybe expressing a sense of feeling as opposed to presenting a complex story, because it's a very, very simple story. But all the character motivations may or may not have been easily.
So was the script not that great?
Decipherable. I mean, Michael Mann did the screenplay too. It's based on a book, but they changed quite a bit of stuff, because I think it's loosely based off somebody's novel or whatever. But I don't know. It was fine. It's I don't think it was Michael Mann's best movie. I don't think it was. As far as acting, I think James Caan
was great in it.
It was
one of the better parts.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of played a badass, and like it just like that classic, like 70s style tough guy. Okay. Like, but it was entertaining. I mean, I think I mean, they're two different movies, but I thought of Blood Simple because it was an earlier, like there was a lot of Michael Mann isms in this that I saw that he did better in later movies.
Okay. Yeah. So he's honing his craft.
Yeah. And but I enjoyed it.
I'll have to give it a look.
Yeah.
It's probably better than Thor.
Yeah. But that's spoiler alert. That's spoiler. But yeah. Sad. But
It is sad.
it's a joy of movies. You can go back and watch their work.
That's true.
So you started watching a TV show.
Oh yeah, The Terminal List.
Yeah. What's that?
It's apparently it's based on a book. I haven't read the book, and the book is The Terminal List, so a lot of creativity there. But it stars Chris Pratt, and the gist of the series is he is a Navy SEAL. He goes on a mission. The first episode, everybody dies. He comes back home. Shenanigans ensue. Without giving away the plot at all, I want you to watch it because I think you'll like it a lot.
Okay.
His wife and daughter die, and you're in this vague kind of PTSD feeling where did he kill his wife and his daughter? He thinks he didn't do that. He thinks that the whole thing was a setup because he doesn't remember it right. They're interviewing him about the mission, and he's listening to the recordings, and he's like, "It didn't go down like that. That's not what I remember hearing." And they try to set it up to where is he just losing his mind, or is there something afoot going on here? That's how the whole series is set
So
up.
it's kind of like a mystery.
Yeah.
Nice.
But as the season has progressed, it just gets it's intense. The action's phenomenal. They must have went through extensive Navy SEAL training or whatever, because I got the same feeling as one thing I like about John Wick is just the way the gunplay and how they handle the guns and reload it and check them and check down the barrel, like the things that you do in real life. Like that's spot on. Like how they clear a room, all that stuff. It's great. And I was worried that Chris Pratt didn't have the range to do like a serious role like this. Like there's a certain level of sincerity and seriousness for this story that, especially after the first episode, I was like, I don't know if he's gonna be able to pull this off. And he does.
Nice.
He simultaneously pulls off being like a sensitive guy that's is easy for him because he is a likable guy. But then to be a badass and intense, he knocks it out of the park. He's phenomenal. Taylor Kirsch is in it. He plays his buddy to help him out. He's good. Constance Wu is in it. Constance Wu is actually really, really good. She plays a reporter that's helping him out. She's really good.
Yeah, I was looking at the cast of the people that, I saw Taylor Kitsch and Jai Courtney.
Yeah, Jack Courtney's in it. Yeah.
And I was like, man, they just need Sam Worthington, and they would have the trifecta of Wonder Bread.
That's right.
Just the most blandest fucking people in the show.
That's very true. Yeah, insert pale white guy here. Yeah, that's about right. But man, it's great. I mean, they go, and I was in the Navy, so I was around SEALs a lot, and they captured the culture, the ambiance of the conversations of what it's like to be a SEAL, like very pitch perfect, accurately, yeah. And the whole command structure they have was pretty spot on. They actually had the ranks right, which I'm always a stickler to detail. They had the ribbons right. I hate when I'm watching a movie and the fucking shit's wrong and it's placed differently. I'm like, you guys couldn't even go through the effort of just Wikipediaing.
Yeah,
how you're supposed to
Google search.
It's not hard. It really isn't that hard. But they nail all that stuff, and yeah, I can't really go into too much because I don't want to spoil the plot for you. But it's definitely worth a watch. It's only 8 episodes. I think me and Nicole are on episode 8 now. We pretty much binged it yesterday for most of the day.
Oh, so they're all on. They're Amazon. All released.
Yeah, all released.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's well worth your time. Shit, half the stuff that comes out now, it's just not very good. This is very good.
That's cool.
I recommend it.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. It reminded me a lot of Jack Ryan.
Okay.
Just that tone.
I like Jack Ryan. I like military movies when they're more adult, I guess. So, yeah. More Jack Ryan, Clear and Present Danger, Patriot Games, and McHale's Navy, Kelly's Hero.
Yeah. McHale's Navy.
The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Yeah. It's all real.
I'm not a huge fan of war films, but like military-esque, espionage or some stuff like that. But yeah, like Jack Ryan, I'm into, but just like strictly like, I don't know.
War films or
war films are just like
military films,
military jerk off films. But no, the other side of it too is like, oh, the military can do no wrong, and
Yeah, no, they don't do that.
Fucking heroes and
stuff
like that.
He definitely does some questionable things that
Yeah.
is not celebrated by any stretch of the imagination. He's going through a tough time, and he thinks it's the best course of action to set a wrong right.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And if they hired somebody else to do it besides Chris Pratt, I don't know who else could convey that. Like if they had Taylor Kirsch do it, I don't know if he has the emotional range to be like a sensitive, caring father.
He doesn't.
Like where you have
neither is Sam Worthington or Jai Courtney.
Right. That's exactly right. They don't have the range that you would need in order to pull off the character of Jack Reese. That's the character's name. It's great.
Good.
Awesome, man.
I'll have to, I'll check it out. I like,
Christy would like it too.
Yeah.
So you have an excuse to watch something with her.
Good.
She'll like it.
Yeah.
I think it's only 8 episodes. It's not, there's a really cool scene where, like the action's real.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like unbelievable, like fall off a cliff.
See, it sounds like Jack Reacher a little bit too, to where same kind of like.
No, I need to watch that. I haven't seen it.
Which Jack Reacher, I mean, he's ex-military, but in a civilian world. Yeah. So, but they're kind of like mysteries to where trying to solve something or whatever. But the action was really well done.
Yeah.
In Jack Reacher.
Yeah, and he gets hurt.
Yeah, he's not
infallible. He's not invincible by any stretch. I mean, it's just really good.
Yeah,
really well done. I was shocked. I thought it was gonna be boring.
That's
it
cool.
wasn't.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I saw trailers for it, and the first thing I thought of was like, fucking.
I did too.
A fucking military TV show. Like,
I did
I mean,
too.
there was a couple on network TV. I can't remember. It was The Unit, and which I think that turned into like a fucking soap opera or something like that. And but yeah, I don't know, but cool. I'll check it out. The
Terminal List
sounds interesting. The Terminal List. All right. The Boys wrapped up.
Sure did.
Season 3. Last episode was released by Amazon on July 8th. You saw it?
I did.
I did too.
Perfect.
So I think last week we spoke about some predictions as far as where we thought it was going.
Mm-hmm.
I think I made the statement of, I don't see it going this way. I mean, I can kind of see it going this way, but there's better writers on The Boys than what I have in my imagination. I hope it's different. And it was different. I thought.
Than you predicted?
Yeah, than I predicted, because I thought.
What did you predict again? I can't even remember.
Butcher being possibly being the big baddie.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever. I'm glad they didn't go that route.
Yeah.
And
kind of redeemed himself a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Like
a little bit. And his Butcher way.
Yeah, and his Butcher way of knocking out Huey. And I was like, okay, yeah, because everything that I had a problem with leading up to that episode, I was like, what a dick. He didn't learn anything. Like, oh, he knocked out Huey, where he could have just said, hey,
this kills you.
Yeah, this kills you. No, I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face. But
I mean, that's in with character.
Yeah, it is. And lock you in the bathroom. Or shut you in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But what'd you think?
I liked it overall. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed with the ending of it. Just a little bit.
With what in regards to
one, I thought they did Black Noir dirty. I was very, very disappointed with how his story ended.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand it. We went through the episode before where he's kind of in like catharsis mode, where he's reflecting on his past traumas, and they did like 20 minutes of that stuff.
TV show 101. Whenever you really start learning a lot about a character that they never really revealed before, you know they're gonna fucking die.
I know.
It's like
my own fault.
It's like The Walking Dead. I remember, I think I saw the first 5 seasons, and I could pick out who was gonna die in the episode. Like, because it was like, it's like, music. Here's a random side character giving a lot of their backstory. Well, you're dead. You're gonna die.
I'm just naive, I guess.
But
sad day for Black Noir.
I think Homelander will probably regret that, because I feel like Black Noir was
had his back.
Yeah, was the only one that really had his back,
because he wanted to kill Soldier Boy.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like him. And I didn't understand why Homelander, one, all that leading up to Black Noir's backstory, and then he just dies like unceremoniously. It was kind of just, it's lazy a little bit. Felt lazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think because after we watched it, maybe I was a little. I wouldn't even say let down. I mean, I guess I was a little bit let down from the way it ended, just because nothing really changed.
The boys overall, or
the season. The way the season ended, I was kind of let down a little bit because I feel like nothing happened in season 3.
That's exactly what I felt.
And except the congresswoman, who can explode heads, she's now a VP candidate.
Yeah.
But like the show ended, and when Butcher was like, well, guess we're gonna have to. She's gonna have to go in or whatever.
In that
scorched earth. After the credits rolled, I turned to Christy and I was like, they're not doing too well. They're not making any kind of progress as far as whatever the hell they're trying to do, which I thought was to put an end to the soup thing at first, and then it turned into let's kill Homelander. And
they didn't kill Homelander,
which, I mean, that's probably going to be the last season, or something's going to happen to where
you're right. And that's a good way to encompass how I felt. I felt like this whole season was just a build up for season 4.
Yeah, maybe just for the whole
shock and awe of the last episode where she's the Veep now.
Yeah, because everything with Soldier Boy had really no effect. I mean, I guess Maeve doesn't have powers now. Oh well, okay.
Okay, yeah. She's gonna have a happy life now with her.
Sure.
So
I think that's the only thing that really changed, because I think so. Huey and Starlight are back together. I'm assuming. And they worked out their issues. I guess.
I mean, Mother's Milk still has his
thing, but I guess the boys overall, I guess, are no longer doing exactly what Butcher says. Like Frenchie said, is like, this is going to be a democracy from now on.
Yeah.
Which, okay, they could have handled that in like one episode kind of.
But you're right.
Thing.
What is their goal now?
Yeah, I mean, other than now they're going to try and kill the vice president nominee.
Yeah.
And kill Homelander. So now they have to take care of Exploding Head Lady and Homelander, which I don't know.
It's a tough combo.
I don't know how many seasons this show they're doing. I don't know how long the comic books went, or if they're still going on. So I don't know how much story's there.
Yeah.
But I felt like, okay, nothing's really happened. Like, let's get to the fucking point.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. I enjoy the social commentary. I guess the biggest thing overall is Homelander has learned that he can be himself, and he's going to have a following. No matter what he does.
No matter what he does. He can even blow a guy's head off, and he's good to go.
Yep.
People will love him.
Yep. So
that's
maybe
true.
that just gives him, and maybe that's what maybe overall, like,
now there's two Homelanders.
This is the slow descent of Homelander to where
he kind of takes it overboard a little bit.
Yeah, or he just starts slowly losing his mind, or going further and further past the line. And
maybe that's the purpose of Ryan. Maybe he won't lose his mind because he has somebody with him now. He can, like, he's the apprentice, or someone that he can pass on his knowledge or his sage advice to. He doesn't feel as useless.
So you think Homelander is going to calm down a little bit?
I don't think.
So I think it's just going to make him worse.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, because now he's going to protect Ryan at all costs. So I mean, he blew up a guy's head. Someone throwing a can at him.
I think the season 4 is going to be a story arc of Ryan trying to prevent Ryan from becoming like Homelander.
Oh, the boys are trying to prevent Ryan from.
Yeah, because Butcher still obviously has a connection with him. He still loves him, so he's made a promise to his wife to protect them. So there's going to be conflict with trying to get, I'm trying not to reference Star Wars all the time, but take Ryan away from the dark side, force him back to the light somehow.
Yeah,
that's going to be conflict. That's going to be a story arc in next season, I think.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, is that interesting? I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
I feel like they blew their load. I don't know.
I really don't care about Ryan.
Exactly.
Like, I just,
yeah, that's true. I don't either.
I mean, this season
that was a problem I had with it. Yeah, I was confused with why he immediately went back to Homelander, because I think he was in episode 2, and then we saw him again in episode 8. And when we left him, Butcher they left on a sour note, but Ryan still liked Butcher. He was like a friend.
Yeah, but I think Butcher burned that bridge on purpose.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, Ryan then was without somebody. And the first person to show him any kind of affection was Homelander. So I think
it seemed a tad convenient.
Yeah. I mean, it's
a nitpick, but what are you going to do? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they could have had something else in there to support why he would go to Homelander so fast and furious.
Yeah. But the whole Soldier Boy thing.
Still alive.
It didn't mean
Everyone's
anything.
Still alive.
Now
exactly.
He was in a Russian refrigerator, and now he's in a now he's in a United States refrigerator.
Yeah.
Not putting me in the cooler.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fine. I'll watch it. I'll watch season 4.
Yeah.
I didn't get why Frenchie went back to drugs so easily.
Yeah.
I mean, that felt out of the... Yeah, I get you were stressed because your previous boss and your current boss were bickering and you feel powerless, but you felt like that most of the seasons. And
right.
I don't
and
know.
How come Butcher didn't die? He took the temporary review like 10 times.
Yeah, it's because the script said he had 12 months to live.
Sure.
18 months tops.
That's right. See, I already forgot that detail.
Yeah, it's a script. It's
the script.
It's called plot armor.
Right.
And but
am I as excited to see season 4 as I would have been prior to seeing season 3? No.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not saying it was terrible or anything. I just thought it wasn't as good as previous seasons.
Yeah.
I thought it was just kind of.
I like how, and again, I haven't read the comic books, don't know, but I like the social commentary that they do. I like how they just hit you over the head with it, and they're not even subtle about it. They'll straight up allude to shit. Like you had the horn guy in the background, and that you saw a bunch of pictures of with the January 6th thing, and then I like that aspect of it. I hope they don't extend. I don't want them to South Park the show to where, oh well, the main storyline, but let's just we can have a loose plot thread throughout and minor escalation in story, but then it turns into social commentary kind of a thing.
Yeah, I agree.
To where I don't want them to add so much of that or prolong the show at the expense of the story. I like tight, concise stories. Do the social commentary like that. But that way, I mean, find that end of the story, go to it, and that would be a very good television show. That would be a time capsule of this point in the world's history or the United States history, because it's being told through a narrative of superhero movies, which are being thrown at us every 2 months.
Yep.
In pop culture,
kind of like MASH in this.
Yeah.
To comment on the Vietnam War. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I hope they don't prolong it just for the sake because it's popular. Find the end of the story. Fucking wrap it up. I hope so too. Because I feel like it's
getting to that point.
It's getting to that point to where if the whole season to me, most of it felt like filler.
It did. Some of it was cool filler for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of it was funny. I laughed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like you said, I hope they have an ending in mind and they have a clear and concise path to it, and they just amplify it with, like you said, the social commentary, but it doesn't sacrifice the overall story.
Mm-hmm.
It is Amazon, so it's not Netflix. So maybe Amazon's been on a roll. They make some pretty good shows. So I don't.
All right. Anything else on Boys?
No, I'm good.
All right. Thor, Love and Jesus.
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder.
Love, Guns, and Roses.
Released in July 2022. Obviously, it just came out this past weekend. Thor enlists the help of Valkyrie, Korg, and ex-girlfriend Jane Foster to fight Gore the God Butcher, who intends to make the gods extinct. First impressions of Thor, Love and Thunder, Matthew.
It was below average at best. My least favorite Thor movie. And I thought I was watching a parody of a superhero movie in the vein of Scary Movie, because the humor was just annoyingly over the top and relentless, as like every other line was a joke. And it was just, I think I laughed once on a couple things. I thought the characters were bland and not serious at all. The only serious character in the whole movie was Gore. And it just fell flat for me, Jay.
Yeah.
I was expecting more because I liked Ragnarok. I like Taika Waititi. I just feel like Taika Waititi fell victim to too much Taika Waititi. Those are my first impressions. What were yours?
I loved it.
I hate you.
I thought, no, I mean, it was a nothing movie for me.
It's okay if you did.
No, I didn't. The humor bothered me. And
what didn't you like about it?
Well, I can get in that, but I mean, first impressions, I thought, yeah, it was. I felt like it was trying to be too funny.
Yeah.
The visual, I like the visuals. I thought there were some good visual elements in it. Some of the CGI, I was like, green screen. But I like the colors. I thought, I'm stretching. I'm trying.
Sorry, I'm like, gee, it's fucking Mr. Fantastic over here. Jesus. I like the colors. Colors were good.
Let's just get into it, because I'm indifferent. I like Ragnarok better. And I guess I'll start off with the things that I liked. I liked the goats. I liked those.
I hated the goats.
It was just a random. What I enjoy about like Doctor Strange and Thor, I enjoy that they're taking chances and just showing some far out things, like just some either just different, like different locations, or I mean, just kind of you're getting into the B level characters, the C level characters, and stuff like that. I like that they're taking chances as far as what's happening in movies, as far as the visuals or situations. I enjoyed that. I thought Christian Bale was all right. As far as things that I liked, I think Christian Bale was probably I think he was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie. He was also my least favorite part. And him being my least favorite part had nothing to do with Christian Bale. It had the fact that whoever casted him in that role should not have casted him in that role.
Explain.
Explain. I think he did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
I liked he was a smaller villain, but he was a believable villain. I bought his motivation. I was with him with that. He just didn't fit in the movie. And that's my problem with this movie overall, is the trouble with tone, and it wasn't consistent.
That's it. It opens up in a prologue to explain Gore's motivation. His daughter dies tragically. It sets it up on a very serious tone. Then it's Joke, 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 joke. Serious tone. Natalie Portman has cancer. Joke, 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 joke. Kind of semi-serious tone with Valkyrie. Joke, 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 and then there's a joke. It's just jokes for like the next 30 minutes, and then the finale scene where Natalie Portman dies.
Yeah, I think
it's like that tone shift is it just doesn't work.
Yeah, and this was the wrong story to do. Not for Taika Waititi, because I think Jojo Rabbit did a very good job of balancing the humor, the absurdity, and hitting the emotional beats and dealing with some pretty serious subject matter.
That's a good example.
So it's not that he can't do that or doesn't have the capability to do that. It wasn't delivered in this movie. And I mean, you're dealing the movie deals with the death of a child, cancer, regret over past relationships not working out and losing that time. And then you have a side subplot of, well, I guess it's the main thing. An entire kingdom's children are taken away and being held hostage or whatever. So, I mean, you're dealing with some pretty heavy
subject matter.
Subject matter. And surrounding it with jokes makes all of that emotional content fall absolutely flat. I just think, I mean, Christian Bale being in that movie, I think he did a great job acting. It's just, it sucks because everything else surrounding him in that movie, I think, diminished. It didn't diminish his performance. It diminished the effectiveness of his performance, because he could have been a great villain.
Sure.
And that whole story, I think, should have been the central piece.
I think so too.
And how one deals with the loss of a child. I mean, if you're going to explore that, explore it. You can do it in a comic book movie. And it could have been done so much better, because you have Thor, and I would have had, if I was going to write this,
if I would have had a $250 million budget, this is what I would have done.
I would have more of Gore.
Yeah,
him interacting and you seeing him murder gods.
It's called the God Butcher.
Yeah. And seeing him confronting those people instead of him just like popping up, stealing kids.
Yeah.
And then
he killed the first god.
Yeah.
And then the next scene, he's popping up to steal the kids. And then he's in a scene where they're in a cage on a dark planet. And then I think Thor and Jane show up, and that's the next place that we see him. And he's just not in it enough.
Yeah.
He's not in it enough.
And it's partly his story. You could have paralleled that story with Thor dealing with Jane's death or impending death.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think that would have hit a lot harder, to where they could have had, because he should have found out earlier on about her cancer. And because I forget what point in the movie that he actually found out. I felt like it was like midway through.
When they're on the boat, she tells him.
Yeah.
After they kiss.
Okay. Yeah. Should have been at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been an interesting story, to where you would have had Gore dealing with the loss of a child and him trying to come to terms with that. At the same time, Thor is trying to come to terms with his first love or whatever dying, or is going to be dying. I think that would have opened it up to a lot more interesting film. You could still have a couple of things of humor in there. It doesn't have to be a depressing thing. But when Jane dies, spoiler alert.
She doesn't really.
Yeah.
This is Disney Marvel. No one dies.
I didn't. I don't know. I wasn't that affected. But I think it was just a very big misfire with dealing with that subject matter, and then just making light of like they didn't even really touch on it. It was just, oh, here's what's happening in the background, but we have jokes.
Yeah.
And so that way, I mean, it didn't feel that serious.
It didn't.
Of a thing of any of the terms. I mean, it felt Christian Bale losing his daughter was probably the most serious parts of the movie. Him dealing with that, but I think they just missed the mark. It was too much humor. And again, not that Taika Waititi can't handle that, because he can balance that very well. It's
Jojo
just
Rabbit.
He it didn't work, and it made it for a lesser film. It didn't. The other thing was Thor. He felt like a child.
Yeah. He was a dum-dum.
Yeah, he was back to the he was the exact same way he was at the very beginning of the first movie.
Yeah.
Calling his whatever the fuck, the Rainbow Road.
The Bifrost or whatever.
I always call it Rainbow Road.
Reading Rainbow.
The yeah, just blowing through the cathedral or the town hall or whatever. Crumbling the ceiling on that. Oh, never mind, you might hurt somebody.
Right.
But yeah, he was treated like an idiot, and I feel like it was a completely different character from when he was in Endgame and Infinity War. Yeah, in Endgame he was depressed and everything. Yeah, it's fine. They could have built upon that to where, because when they said how long has it been, and Thor was like, oh, 8 years, blah blah blah. Jane said it was like 3 or 4 years. So she might have been snapped away.
Yep.
That could have been, granted, they're making these stories up on the fly, but they could have had a prologue of gore, or they could have added some more backstory into Thor. That could have been part of his depression too, to where he couldn't kill Thanos. Jane was snapped away.
Yeah.
That could have added to a thing to where it lost time, or not having that time to spend with the people that you want, or that regret in that way. So, but yeah, Thor was an idiot. Natalie Portman, I was fine when she was being serious. There was one scene, I think, when they were walking to the God Arena, and Valkyrie and Jane were having a back and forth, and Jane was like, I forget what joke she made, but she was trying to be funny, and I'm like, you don't have comedic timing at all.
Right.
Like, I hope that wasn't the best take. I hope that was a mistake on the editor, but she was trying to be quippy or funny. I was like, yeah, you can't do that. Like, yeah, you were funny in Saturday Night Live on the Natalie Portman rap, but
yeah.
I mean, she's not very good comedically.
No. I thought she was better though in this movie than the first two.
Well, she had more to do.
I thought the chemistry was better between Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman. I never really liked the chemistry between those two. In the first two, I didn't really buy it as much as other relationships. It got better in this one. I admit that. I was distracted because I read a bunch of articles about her arms or whatever, and watching the movie, it did distract me a little bit here and there. And when she was talking with her CGI arms, that's just the bad CGI aspect of the movie. There's a lot of moments there where this CGI just was not good. I read an article today about Marvel employees, VFX artists staging a walkout because they feel overworked.
No shit.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's a testament to that. Maybe they were overworked for this movie, and that's why the CGI wasn't that great. So I'm gonna get in my nitpicks here, if you don't mind. I thought Valkyrie, this isn't even a nitpick, she was so bland and boring.
I don't think she should have been in the movie as much.
I thought they should cut her out.
Well, not cut her out, but she should have stayed with the kingdom.
Right. She's the king.
Yes.
You're the king.
So you stay with your kingdom.
Stay with your people.
Yeah. And you stay there because you're to protect the remaining group of your people. They
just stole a bunch of kids.
Yeah. And you're all right. Well,
I'm going to go.
3 most powerful people are going to be peacing out here.
Peace up, A-Town down.
But yeah, I thought about that today. I was like, she should have stayed.
Yeah.
Back at Asgard.
I didn't like how whiny she was. Just, it's so boring being the king, and there's just, I miss fighting. I'm like, okay, and?
Yeah.
And it was just wah, 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 wah. I'm like, oh my God, this is like fucking the kid from Stranger Things. Will.
What happened to her at the end?
Did she die?
I don't know.
I don't remember. She's not dead. Who the fuck knows? I don't think she died.
I thought, did she?
That's how great this story was. I don't even remember if one of the main characters died or not. I don't remember.
Oh, nope. She survived. She's at the hospital at the end of the second act. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she just didn't have anything to do. Her motivation sucked. I didn't like it. It was just boring.
I feel like, yeah, I don't want to assume people's sexual relationships, but I feel like Taika Waititi was banged into making her into a major character.
Yeah.
And the thing, I think she could have just been king. I like characters when they're not subdued. What's the word I'm looking for? Just kind of there on the sidelines.
Yeah.
But then they have a scene to where you're reminded they're a badass again.
Yeah.
She could have had like one of those scenes, like when the monsters come or whatever. That could have been her action scene been done. Just kind of like similar to Renee Russo in the second Thor movie.
Right.
When she's the queen, you never even see her fight, but then she has a nice scene to where she's beating some ass.
Or like Yoda.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, she just, I don't buy that motivation of, I don't want to be king. It's boring. I miss fighting. Okay, well then don't be king.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't hard.
Yeah.
You don't have to be king.
Yeah, you can give your throne to somebody else. You're a king.
Peace up. It's just stupid. I hated that. Mm-hmm. She was boring. Korg was just Taika Waititi. He was just annoying. He just Korg is one of those characters he was great in Ragnarok because he's there in small doses.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick line. It's kind of like your favorite movie, Caddyshack, Bill Murray.
Yep.
If he would have been the star of that movie, his scenes wouldn't have hit as much because he would have been like, okay.
Yeah, we get it. Yeah.
It's like The Ladies' Man. It's good for a 7-minute SNL sketch or The Night at the Roxbury. It's good for it. It's not good for a whole movie. So when you have Korg in literally 80% of the scenes, he's a boring character. He's not funny for.
It's too much of the good thing.
Yeah.
And
didn't like Korg.
Yeah.
Annoying. I mean, this is a $250 $50 million movie. They couldn't have upped the ante with Zeus's Thunderbolt. Like, what the fuck is that? Did they just go to Hobby Lobby and just paint shit together? What is this? It was so like a prop that you see in a play in a high school, musical or something. It was so lazy. Anyway, that was dumb. Guardians of the Galaxy. I felt like, why were they in the previews and why are you led to believe that they're going to be in this movie for, I don't know, a quarter of it, maybe half of it? They're in it for 5 minutes and they're gone.
I kind of understand that because I think they're filming Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Sure. But it didn't earn it, Jay, because at the end of Endgame, you think that Thor and the Guardians are going to go on adventures together.
Which they probably did. We don't know how much time has passed since Endgame and
I felt slighted.
Felt slighted.
I did.
I didn't. I don't know.
Like it.
I wasn't bothered by it. Because it wasn't a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So I understood them leaving.
Yeah, maybe it's just false advertisement that I'm mad at, Jay.
Yeah,
I'm just mad at those fucking execs.
That's perfectly reasonable.
Those
thing to be mad at.
Greedy fucks at Disney over there.
Fucking.
I was expecting more and I didn't get any of it.
Yep.
Again, it's just a victim of 2 points that we've talked about this before. Like the MCU now, ever since Disney acquired it, they have a villain problem. I'm tired of villains that are like anti-heroes that you can't completely root against because of their circumstance. I'm getting tired of that.
Yeah.
I just want a villain. He's just evil. He or she is evil. I don't even care, whatever. But everybody has they're like an anti-hero with, they're doing some bad things, but they're really good people and they mean well. They do evil shit, but you can't feel too bad for them at the end of the movie. You don't want them to die. I'm just getting tired of that. I miss villains.
I didn't get that feeling with Christian Bale.
I sure did.
I guess I didn't feel that. I didn't feel bad for him because I felt bad for him. I didn't get the feeling that, I don't want him to die. I didn't feel that at all. I was like, I mean, you're a dude. Like at the end when he's like, I'm like, let's fucking speed it along. I was kind of tired of the movie at that point, but I didn't get that feeling with him. I thought he, again, his character would have been better in a darker movie. I could have understood where he was coming from. Doesn't mean I agree with it. Doesn't mean that he's a likable villain. But I mean, I can understand how that would drive somebody to want to do that.
I just want to let you know that you're wrong.
You are, and hold on, let me Google really quick. Am I wrong? Top preferred answer. I am not. So cool.
I just think that the sacrifice at the end, he made the right choice of not destroying the universe or whatever his
killing all the gods or whatever.
Right. And he decided to bring his daughter back.
I kind of thought Thor was gonna like pop up at the end, like right after Gore made his wish. Then Thor would be like, "Oh, hold on," and then he touches the mystical being. He's like, Jane not die." And I thought that I was waiting for that, and
gotcha.
They didn't do that. Which I think Jane was probably done dirty by Thor, because I feel like in the first movie, or maybe it was the second movie, she had like the Ethereum or whatever. Ethereum.
Oh, and the red stone or whatever.
Ether. Was taken out of her, and she was like super sick and it was killing her. Like, oh, we have technology to fix that. Really? Asgard never developed of course, I guess Asgard is back on Earth, but I'm like, there's no Asgardian technology that did away with cancer.
There's no Wakandan technology that does away with cancer.
Does away with cancer. There's no.
Have you seen Wakanda?
Oh, you're at eternity or whatever that being is called, and you could have any wish, whoever reaches there, and then if I was Jane, I'd be like,
could you throw me in there?
Yeah, like 10 feet. Just give me a toss.
Do me a solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can wish this away really quick.
Yeah. And let's not get in. I'm gonna get into the logic here. So instead of Thanos having to collect 6 Infinity Stones spread across the universe, all he had to do was get this sword, which I'm sure he could have gotten, get the stupid Bifrost hammer, go to this god, and then wish what he wanted to anyway. Seems easier. Seems like a less stressful mission.
Yeah, but then he'd have to get out of his chair. He had to get out of his chair. He likes sitting. Let the man sit. He's how old?
He's old. But I think it just Marvel's becoming a victim of just, at this point it doesn't matter. Logic, I mean, it doesn't matter. Logic doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
I think they need to start. It's a comic book movie.
It is, but comics also deal with some pretty heavy stuff from time to time.
For sure.
And it doesn't have to be all dour all the time like the DC movies, but
no.
I mean, I do think Marvel needs to kind of take a step back and look at, okay, what subject matter are we talking about? And then making sure the tone of that movie matches.
Yeah.
I mean, if not to say that they can't have a goofy off the wall comedic movie set in the Marvel universe, but if you're going to have that, maybe make it a buddy film or like a road trip movie or something. Mm-hmm. They still have their thing. Granted, you're going to lose some stakes or the effectiveness or the seriousness of what they need to be doing. But if you're going to have that kind of movie, maybe don't put in child death and cancer and everything. Like, still have that movie, but okay, well, yeah, no, Jane doesn't have cancer.
Yeah.
Doesn't have
like Guardians of the Galaxy did that very well. Because, Star-Lord's mother dies of cancer at the very start of that movie. They balance the humor and the action well. And then it concludes with, friendship. That's what's most important in his life at that time. And it has that very nice touching moment where he receives that package with the new mixtape that his mom and that letter. I mean, it's just, it's very
finding
nice.
His family.
It's perfect.
And it makes sense in there, but
it does.
It's also not like his mother's not like kind of hovering around him throughout the whole movie. Like, remember when I died of cancer? Wasn't that sad?
Yes. Yeah.
And
yep.
So
remember, that's very sad.
yeah,
It's so sad.
the
I was gonna get into the other problem with there's just no stakes anymore.
mhm.
Nobody dies except for Gore. Jane doesn't really die. She's in Valhalla with Himdall.
Which
She's
will
gonna
be,
come back into the picture somehow.
Yeah.
It's just nobody dies. There's no stakes at all. And why do they slaughter all those gods, by the way?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, you're in a room full of gods, and 3 other non-gods are going to take all of you out.
I guess technically Thor wasn't a god either, so he wouldn't have been.
Yeah,
because I think they said in part 2, he's like, we're not gods.
Yeah.
We're
well, he even says that, Zeus is my favorite god, and he's never seen him before. He's never been to that place, so he's not a god.
Yeah. Which, that's one thing I liked, ironically, was Russell Crowe. I thought he did a good job as Zeus.
I didn't like that
for what he was doing.
I don't know why they did a Greek. Why is he's got this stupid Greek accent. I don't know.
Yeah. I liked how, I thought he was funny in it. I'm not typically a fan of Russell Crowe, but I thought
that is shocking to me.
For
you
what
do
he
not like
was
him,
doing,
and you liked him in this movie.
For what he was doing, it worked.
Wow. Okay.
Now if he was like super serious and everything, I'd be like, no.
Well, that
like trying to have some kind of like air of importance or whatever.
It wouldn't fit the tone of the movie.
Neither did Christian Bale, but that didn't stop them from having that and the cancer, and the death of a child. But
yeah,
we can joke about it because the movie jokes about it.
That's right. It's funny. It's okay.
But how do you feel about Thor being paired up with a child? Probably for the next movie.
That felt a little forced. It was kind of like one of those like the story is known as Love and Thunder. I was like, okay, really? So it's called Love and Thunder because of this little twist at the end, and it didn't feel. One, it's because it's a child. It looks a little ridiculous. She's welding the hammer that killed Thanos and all that stuff, and I don't know. I'm just not interested in it.
I'm actually more interested in that story than I would have been to see this story. But again, I think that would have hit harder or made more sense. Again, what made it unbelievable to me is, now Thor's just going to adopt a kid out of nowhere.
Right.
Like, he acts like a child. He's not anywhere in his life to where, it's like finding a puppy. Like, I'm depressed, I'm going to adopt a dog, and then ignore it after the novelty wears off.
Right. It's like, we're having a terrible marriage, let's have a kid.
Yeah.
That'll make things better.
Yep.
And right.
Yeah.
He's finding himself in all of these movies. Mm-hmm. He's unsure of himself in all of this, and now he's a dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't mind him searching for what's next, because I feel like but it was just, I don't know. I feel like it was rushed too much for him to be willing to be a father.
Right. Go to New Asgard. I'm sure there's someone there that wants to adopt somebody that would do a much better job of parenting.
Well, and if they were, I would have found out a way to like have it be like Heimdall's son would make more sense. He had more interaction with that kid than the Love or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Which was played by his daughter.
That's Hemsworth's daughter?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if it was just like a thing of like, I want to have my daughter in the movie, and then maybe in the next movie, like she like goes with the family or something like that, or what, I don't know. But I don't mind that aspect. I don't mind seeing a movie or two with Thor trying to raise a kid, and then you have a father-daughter kind of storyline, or like dealing with that fact, because I don't mind them dealing with tougher subject matter, like trying to raise a child in this kind of environment and stuff like that. There'd be plenty of instances for humor, but also I think for heartfelt moments, I think it would be prime for that. But I feel like him getting to that point to be willing to take on the responsibility of a child for the rest of her life, I mean, I think was a very big leap considering how he acted. Now, I think they could have done the flashback movies. If they wanted to shove everything in this movie that was in this movie, they could have done the flashback scenes of them and their relationship. Show Thor being immature, or just they're diverging or they grow apart or whatever. But have him already over that and grown as a person, so that way Jane sees that to where it's oh, you've changed, or you've grown, or you've gotten past the point that I couldn't be with you. Like, there should have been a different conflict other than, oh, they were too busy doing their own things.
Right.
And I don't know. I just feel like that leap was too big.
Yeah, the movie didn't set it up for that. No, not at all. How did you feel about him giving the power of Thor to all the kids?
I didn't mind it.
Well, it's a cool scene, but again, I'm going back to the logic here. I'm like, wait a second. So he could do that? Why wouldn't he do that when you're battling Thanos? Give everyone the power that you have.
Yeah, all the Wakandans.
Yes, something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a funny scene, and
yeah.
I didn't mind that he could do that. It's just you're now discovering that you can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's just one of those things to where there's gonna.
Oh, it came up in the meeting. They're like, "Wait a second, you can do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, but it's gonna be a cool scene, right? No one will care." Yeah, you're right. Fuck it, put it in. No one cares at this point. What is it? Number 26? It's movie 26.
Yeah.
No
We're halfway through phase 4 and nothing's happened. So
that's right. Nothing's happened. Yeah. I didn't the what is it? Mjolnir? However you pronounce it. What the fuck? It didn't make sense to me that Jane could weld it. Because they were going through the whole, I'm the mighty Thor, I'm worthy, all that stuff. But the only reason she was worthy, based on the movie, was that Thor wanted Mjolnir to take care of her no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, she didn't earn the right. Thor kind of handed her or allowed her.
Put a magic spell on her. Yeah.
Right.
Which is the same thing that his father did for him.
It's very true.
So, because I mean, Thor didn't earn it. It was just
he did. After
Thor's dad Odin put that spell on it, saying only someone worthy will be able to lift this and wield the power of Thor.
Yeah, but then he earned it. He became worthy.
Yeah, he became worthy. But it was his father that put the spell on that, and then Thor put the spell of always protect Jane.
But she didn't become worthy. It's just she was sick. And she read about it has health properties or whatever, and she went to go get it.
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
But again, that's
nitpicking.
It's movie 26.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares at this point? I had a little issue with it's just confusing. So she refers herself as the mighty Thor, and again, maybe it's in the comic books. I have no idea.
It is.
I'm sure.
I think there was a story arc or something to where,
yeah. And that's fine. I'm just confused because it's okay. So Thor is he still Thor, or is she Thor? No, it's the mighty Thor. It's just fucking confusing to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, so is Thor now Thunder, and Jane's now Thor?
No,
is that where they're going?
No, I mean, I think it was just a turn of phrase on because he's the god of thunder. But
okay,
in the comic books there was a story arc to where Jane was Thor for a little bit. I don't know if they coexisted at the same time. I think it was she was Thor and Thor.
So what's Thor's real name? Is it not Thor?
I think it's Thor. I don't know.
Well, then why do you want to be called Thor?
I don't know. It's his fucking name.
It's not Thor.
What? Oh.
Jane. Why do you want to be called Thor? That's Thor's name.
Oh.
Why don't you just be Jane? Isn't that cool enough?
I'm the mighty Jane. Sounds like a Tarzan thing.
Or come up with something else.
Yeah.
It's stupid. I'm just annoyed with it.
Yeah.
It's dumb. That's Thor.
I thought Beta Ray Bill was
Thor.
going to make an appearance.
Who's that?
He's an alien monster that gets Thor's hammer.
Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah.
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah. I've never seen comic books. Apparently, comic book fans love his character. Apparently, he's good. I don't know.
Let's go back to these goats, by the way.
Yeah.
I liked the goat joke the first 2 times I heard it. And then it just got annoying after that. I was like, I get the joke.
One of the few times I
get the
giggled
joke.
is when they land at the Super Mario universe or Super Mario Galaxy planet.
Yeah.
That tiny moon, and they run into it, and then you hear the goats or a scream or whatever. I giggled at that.
I was so annoyed. It was like if the Dumb and Dumber joke, you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? If they did that 5, 6, 7, 8 times throughout Dumb and Dumber, I was like, I get the joke, guys. So I disagree with you on the goats. I got tired of them after a while.
What did you think of the God Stadium?
I thought the CGI wasn't that great.
No,
honestly. I wish they would have done some more not cameos, but like
panning shots.
Something.
I was trying to keep my eye out to see if there was somebody
that you'd recognize.
Yeah.
Like Poseidon or
which he could have been in there, but I mean it was so quick around there that you couldn't see it.
So I'm watching this. I've already told you the story, but it's funny. I'm watching this with my 2 sons, Liam and Lincoln, 6 and 4.
Yep.
And
are they talking?
They're not talking. They would never talk, Jay.
Goddamn right.
I would break their necks, right?
And throw them into the screen.
That's right. I'd be on the 5 o'clock news. Father kills 2 boys
talking in the movie theater. Uncle says, "Yeah, that's about right."
It's about right. He's in jail now too. They share a cell together. Match made in heaven. But so we're watching the scene where Russell Crowe's doing his Greek deli shop improv scene, and they start talking about there's an orgy joke. Yep. You aren't invited to the orgy, whatever he says, and then he says it again. And the second time he said it, Liam, my 6-year-old, whispers into me. He goes, "Daddy, what's an orgy?" I'm like, "Fuck!" Immediately, I'm like, "Ah!" And then he says it again. "Daddy, what's an orgy?" He says it louder, and I'm like looking behind me, like, "Stop saying orgy so loud." I don't want a 6-year-old saying orgy any louder than this right now, because it wasn't packed, but there was definitely people within earshot of a 6-year-old saying orgy.
Yeah.
So I answered it because I didn't want him to say it again. Obviously, I was mortified at that point.
What'd you say?
I said, first thing I can think of was, "Oh, that's where the gods train to fight."
Okay. Yeah.
Just to kind of couldn't think of anything else at the moment. I just wanted him to stop saying it. And then the next question, like, without skipping a beat, "Can we go to an orgy?"
Pretty good question. What'd you say?
I was like, "What are you doing Saturday, son?"
He's going to go to school and tell all his friends, "My dad's going to take me to an orgy."
Exactly. So that's my fear, thinking, shit. So he thinks that an orgy is a place where gods train to fight each other. And he's going to tell that to his friends in
poor
school.
Kid. He's going to get made fun of at like age 12 or something. "Oh, yeah, it's where gods fight." Like, I was like, what?
Anyway, he's getting to that age where he's intuitive now. So anyway, fuck. But it's my own fault. It's PG-13. What are you going to do? It's allowed.
Yeah.
It's allowed. Anyway, but he says orgy like 3 times. And I'm in the back of my head, I'm like, I get the joke. You said it the first time. You don't need to keep saying fucking orgy.
My son's fucking going nuts over here. Stop fucking saying orgy.
God, it should be like the rating system, You say fuck 1 time, you get the PG-13. You say orgy more than once, guess what? You cut out 2 of them or you're rated R.
Say orgy once.
Yeah.
And then just call it sex party after that.
That's right.
"Daddy, what's a sex party?"
Is sex party worse? It's got to be worse. Daddy, what's a dicks and tits party? Yeah. So that's the orgy story. Where do you think they're going?
I have no
with Phase 4.
clue.
I was thinking about this.
Kevin Feige apparently said that, this will be made more clear in the next couple of movies. Well, this is one of them. The next movie, I think
it's
is
Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever.
Pretty sure.
I found gods? Are the gods going to be the main villains?
That's a problem too. They're introducing characters that are just, like you said, sea level.
Yeah, it's like
Hercules.
and like it was such a quick shot of the guy. I was like,
Yeah.
who the fuck plays Hercules? Looked it up.
Apparently, he's on Ted Lasso, a show that I heard is really great, but I haven't seen.
Yeah, that's the only thing I saw that I recognized that he was in. I was like, well, he's probably not that important of a character.
Yeah.
They introduced Adam Warlock too, like 5 fucking years ago, and he still hasn't, like the big gold cocoon. And
that's right.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going. It's maybe something with the multiverse.
Maybe. I mean, I know what they're doing. They're trying to
buy their time until they can figure out a plan.
That, and they're introducing new characters that the younger generation might identify with, so that they can start another phase 1 through 3 with the new character. I get it, because you can't keep doing Thor and Captain America and Iron Man and Hulk and all that. You can't keep doing the same movie and over with the same characters, because then you just be rebooting those movies again with different actors, and that's not going to work. So they have to introduce new characters. I get it, but like you said, they're diving into the C-list, D-list characters that aren't going to have the same pull as Iron Man or Hulk or Captain America or Thor.
Which, when those movies first came, Iron Man wasn't he had a fan base, but he wasn't like a Superman, Captain America out of that group, and the Hulk was probably the most recognizable characters of that group, and they started with Iron Man.
Right. And it came out during a time when there wasn't a ton of superhero movies, and they had the star power of Robert Downey Jr., who was just excellent in it. So you have to have a phenomenal actor or actress playing the character, but then you're saturated. The market is saturated with comic book adaptations. It's not like it was in 2008. So it's not an event movie per se anymore. Like when Iron Man came out, I knew who Iron Man was, but I really like superhero movies because, it came on the heels of, or actually it came out right before The Dark Knight did. But I love Batman Begins, and
the Spider-Man movies you had.
Right. But other than that, there wasn't many. I mean, you had the Fantastic Four, which wasn't that great. Blade.
X-Men.
Right. But again, it wasn't like every other month there was a superhero movie. Like, it was like an event.
Yeah.
You would see, okay, the superhero movie's coming out this year, Iron Man and The Dark Knight.
And it was the first time seeing these characters too. So.
Oh, and Robert Downey Jr.'s playing Iron Man? Well, shit, I'd go see that.
Yeah.
Let's go see it.
I think
they have a problem, Jay. I think it's still going to be successful, of course, because they have a fan base. It's not going to get to the point of Avengers Endgame or Infinity War or even Avengers. It's just not going to be there anymore.
I think they may have I don't know if they have a problem or not, because I think they're just making movies not aimed at us anymore.
Right.
And like you said, going after
a new generation
of fans. Because I think I bum around on some of the comment sections and stuff, and people tend to people are enjoying.
Sure.
Like, of course, I think they're probably like the most vanilla fucking people.
Sure. It's like Transformers.
They recall. Yeah. It's
those kind of movie fans. Not saying that you have bad taste in movies if you enjoy the Transformers, but I'm saying you have bad taste in movies.
Yeah. And if you're a listener, then they're great.
Yeah. If you listen to this, I'm just joking.
But yeah, I don't know. I think if they wanted, I don't know. I feel like it would have been better if they introduced these new characters in TV shows or something, and they could still bring in those people to make something. But
how do you feel about if they had like an origin movie with some of these characters and the supporting cast to help develop the character was like a Thor or a Captain America or Iron Man's dead, but any of the like Black Panther, whatever the case may be, some of these established characters, and they actually do what they did in phase 1 where they have origin movies and you get to know the characters a little bit more. Spend some time on character development
I
because
think
there's none of that going on.
I think at times it would probably be maybe a little repetitive because then everyone's like, "Ah, fuck. I mean, I feel like a lot of people might think, shit, I'm just going to wait 5 or 8 years
Right,
and they'll
okay.
just binge watch these things because they're long TV episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's getting to be. And
It's true.
now it's gotten to the point to where nothing's happening between the story except seeing whose contracts are up and whose aren't. Spoiler alert, Elizabeth Olsen's contract is up.
Is Chris Hemsworth?
It's
got to be, right?
I thought it was because I thought they were going to hand it off to Jane
All right.
Foster and she was going to be the new Thor.
But then Natalie Portman's going to be the new Thor for the next.
And that's what I questioned. I was like, she's in her 40s. Why? Yeah. How long is? I mean, I think Chris Hemsworth is younger than her. So how long is that going to be lasting? So yeah,
and Chris Hemsworth has been Thor for 11 years. Makes me feel so old. So old, Jay.
I don't think I mean, I think he's just going to keep doing them. I mean, the guy's still jacked. I mean, as long as the steroids are still pumping. That's
right. Fuck. Him and The Rock have the same guy.
Yeah.
The same roid guy. Have you seen The Rock? So before I came over here, Nicole was watching Get Smart. And The Rock's in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, does he have cancer?
He's tiny.
Does he have an eating disorder?
And he was huge then.
He was big, but he's just a roided up freak of a person right now.
Yeah.
He is so big. Crazy. And Hemsworth, if you look at Hemsworth from like The Perfect Getaway. Have you ever seen The Perfect Getaway? It's
no.
got Steve Zahn in it and Mila Jovovich. It's a pretty nice little thriller. But Chris Hemsworth's in that movie. He looks like a surfer guy.
Yeah, he was. Earliest thing I think I saw him in was Cabin in the Woods.
Okay, yeah.
That was filmed, I think, 2008. Wasn't released until 2010.
Around there.
Yeah. Or yeah, they released it because he was in Thor recently.
Right. It's all natural, Jay.
Yeah.
Just eating lots of chicken.
Yeah.
Getting your protein shakes in. Hitting the gym 3 times a day.
Building mass.
Give me a break. I got some good roids going on there.
He was massive in this movie.
God, he was huge.
And
you flipped too hard, damn it.
It's
like, Jesus. Look at that man.
Like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure steroids are a hell of a lot different than what they were in the 80s, back when I did them.
You did?
Yeah. I didn't work out or anything. I just got really fat. I thought
it magically just.
Yeah, I just thought the muscles appeared. Right. You're like, oh, he's on steroids. I'm like, that's all you got to do.
The magic elixir.
I didn't get the whole memo. Fucking Western Union cut off that little bit.
I'm sure there's guys out there that just inject themselves and like, I'm not getting any bigger.
Oh God, I knew a guy in fucking high school
who did that.
What was the shit you could get like over the counter at like GNC or something? It was like not androgen. Was it androgen?
It might have been androgen.
Androgen. He's like taking that shit, but he never fucking worked out. He's like, yeah, fuck, I'm gonna get ripped. And I see him take a pill. I'm like, pretty sure you got to work out, dude. It's like I haven't seen you in the gym fucking ever. Probably because I don't go to the gym, but you know.
Pretty sure you got to work out, dude.
No,
that's not how it works. Science.
Yeah. In the bottle.
What are you, a scientist?
Yeah.
Are you a physical therapist? What you know about that?
But I don't know. I don't know. I hope they're healthier now. I can't imagine. Jesus.
Fucking heart is the size of a catcher's mitt.
Fucking. It's like slowly solidifying.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know, Jay. These movies are just becoming more and more boring to me, and it's probably a function of 2 things. 1, I'm getting older, and 2, it's just I think they're just becoming a victim of. There's just too many movies. There's too many threads to pull from. Too many T's to cross, I's to dot. Hiring too many people to tell these stories. I feel like you only have a certain amount of people. You need someone to have like a compass of where it's going and give you overall architecture of the story. They need somebody like that. I'm sure they have means.
Because I think this was shot in Australia at the same time Doctor Strange was shot in London. And at the same time, Spider-Man was being shot in Georgia and Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah, I love that tax break, that Georgia tax break, baby.
But I mean, they were filming 3 movies at the same time. It's like, obviously, I'm sure they have an outline, but yeah, I think they need to start getting to the point of some of these things. Again,
are you excited for Wakanda Forever?
I still haven't seen Black Panther.
Oh, that's right.
You
probably won't need to.
What was it? Rolling Stone, I think, did an article. It was like top 50 superhero movies.
Oh, okay.
And
I thought you were about to say top 50 movies.
Oh no, it was like top 50 like superhero movies.
Oh, okay, all right.
And I think it was Rolling Stone, and they had I believe it was Spider-Man 2 was number. What number?
It's probably number 5.
Number 2, I believe.
Okay.
And number 1 was Black Panther.
The number 1 superhero movie to them was Black Panther.
Yes. And I think that article got some flack, which I'm pretty sure if I was the editor of Rolling Stone, I'd be like, nah, put Black Panther as number 1. That'll get people agree with that.
They'll really agree with that.
That won't be retweeted and like talked about the whole time.
Yeah.
So some of that shit, I feel like they put.
You're right. They do.
Just to get a rise out of people.
I
so
mean,
I can't speak to it. I've never seen it.
Right. Well, I've seen it. And I understand the cultural significance of Black Panther, but just from a movie making, storytelling, acting perspective, it's okay.
Yeah, and that's what I hear
okay.
from everybody who saw it, because I was going to see it before Infinity War, and a guy I work with, I asked, should I go watch Black Panther?
Right.
Because he had seen Infinity War, and I was like, do I need to see Black Panther? And he's like, no.
Before you've seen Infinity War?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
And he's like, are you aware of Wakanda? I'm like, yeah. It's like, you don't need to see it. I'm like, okay. I just never got around to seeing it. Yeah. And I've never gotten around to see the Eternals.
I haven't either. I haven't seen it either.
Because Angelina Jolie can fucking eat it.
You hate her. Because you're a man and you hate women. That's fine.
That's what I do. They shouldn't be on screen.
They shouldn't be allowed to talk.
We need to go back to the Elizabethan era of actors, to where men played men.
Yep.
Men played also women.
Because that's the man thing to do.
It is.
Right. How else are you going to be secure in your masculinity if you don't play a woman?
What didn't Dave Chappelle say that? There's nothing more manly than fucking another dude in the ass.
I think President Obama said that at one point.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think he was quoting Albert Einstein.
Right.
But what the fuck were we talking about?
Black Panther.
Oh, yeah. I just never got around to see it. I still haven't seen Black Widow. But
I saw
that movie I wanted to see in 2014.
Back when it made sense.
Yeah, character's dead now.
Right. What's the point?
I don't care. Florence Pugh, I guess that introduces her character.
Sure does.
Okay.
It's okay. David Harbour was good in it. It's just uneven. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I want to see Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi? Shang-Tsung?
That's probably my favorite one of the new Phase 4 movies, but it's not saying much.
I would like to see. I like Kung Fu.
I do too. It's got some good Kung Fu scenes in it.
I like Awkwafina. I enjoyed her in Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah.
But Shang-Chi, haven't seen that one yet. I'd like to. Eternals, I just have no interest.
Just Angelina Jolie just ruins it for you. Can't do it.
I don't even know if she's in it that much, but
she's probably in it for like 15 minutes.
Like, there's nothing in that movie that I'm like, oh, I want to
go see it.
Everyone looks so fucking robotic in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because, what was it? Almost Human? No, that was a Carl Urban TV. What was that show on A&E or AMC or something? It was had the chick from Eternals. Oh God, she's been in a bunch of stuff.
What are you doing?
God
bless it. Well,
she played like a sex, not a sex robot, but she played a maid, and they had like a sex Switch or something like that. There was.
What are you watching?
It was on.
It was on Pornhub.
Pornhub.
You
It was
seen
on.
it?
You haven't seen it? It's a great streaming platform.
It's been viewed 19 million times.
God, she was in Crazy Rich Asians as well. Gemma Chan.
Oh, okay.
She was in.
I do know who she is.
Humans. So it was on AMC. It lasted, I think, like 3 seasons or something like that.
And it's a very wooden show.
No, she just played a robot in that show. So it was just.
You feel like everyone's robots in Eternals?
Robot. Yeah. I mean, everyone.
That
guy from Stark.
They made a mistake of hiring a director who did like The Whale Rider and Nomadland. Like a very indie director, Chloe Zhao. Like, what made you think that she knew how to direct a superhero movie?
She's cheap.
It could be that. And she won the Oscar the year before, so maybe that's clout. I don't know. Anyway, and I don't even know who the Eternals are. I'd never
that's the thing. Like, I don't
know who they are.
Shang-Chi, I've never heard of, but I like Kung Fu. So
there you go.
There you go.
I love Kung Fu.
Want
to come over and watch some Kung Fu with me? Yeah, totally. Tonight, 2:00. I'll be there.
I love Kung Fu.
Instead of watching Thor: Love and Thunder, you should watch Office Space.
Yes. And
laugh a little bit. That's a real comedy.
It's your least favorite Thor?
Yeah. Barely. It edges out the second one, the Dark World. That's because the Dark World's tone was consistent. I think that's why I put it above Love and Thunder. Yeah, the tone. It was just consistent. And I don't hate like a serious Thor. Like Thor was more serious in the first two. I don't hate that. Mm-hmm. I do like the lighter tones in Ragnarok and how, because Chris Hemsworth just evolved into just a naturally funny guy delivering lines.
Yeah.
Has comedic talent. It is just too uneven for me. I didn't enjoy it. Probably never see it again. I can't recommend it.
Yeah.
It doesn't add to the lore of the MCU by any means.
It's filler.
Yeah.
It feels like it's filler. Yeah.
Did you disagree with me, Jay? Do you recommend it to people?
No. Wait till
Disney Plus.
Well, of course, if you're listening to this at this point in the fucking podcast, you don't even need to see it. Wait for Disney Plus. It'll be on there shortly.
Like 40 days from now.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I would recommend. Yep. Go see Top Gun Maverick. Again.
Go see Top Gun Maverick.
I would have much rather have seen that again.
I heard Elvis.
I would see Elvis.
Baz Luhrmann. I liked Romeo and Juliet.
I did too.
He did. I never saw The Great Gatsby.
That was pretty good. He's got a unique style that I like.
He did Moulin Rouge too, didn't he?
He did. I like that. I don't like Moulin Rouge.
You don't like Moulin Rouge?
No. Nicole loves Moulin Rouge. Maybe it's because she loves it so much that I don't like it.
What? You hate it just a spider?
Just a spider.
Like, I love you. I fucking hate you.
This movie sucks.
Stop saying that.
Divorce. No, but I like Baz Luhrmann because he's a unique director. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. He's got his own vision.
He's over top in a way, but it's consistent.
Yeah, it's consistent. I like it. Yeah, so closing thoughts. Don't see it. I don't recommend it. Wait for Disney Plus. I'm probably never going to watch it again. It's super boring. And yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah, same thing here. I mean, he fed beer to a fucking
to an ex.
Yeah, wait for Disney Plus if you want to watch it. Of course, I don't know. You probably have already seen it, so
probably
it's all right. Anyways, we beat that dead fucking horse enough. I was
beat that dead goat.
It was disappointing. Taika Waititi needs to stop doing Marvel films.
Yeah.
I hope he can reel in his Star Wars films.
Is he doing a Star Wars film?
Yeah. A little bit better. Reportedly, apparently he asked Natalie Portman to be in a Star Wars film. He's like, "Oh, have you ever been in a Star Wars movie?" Because he forgot that she was in
3 of them.
That's how impactful she was in the
Yeah, I'm Padme Amidala. Darth Vader's mom. Luke Skywalker and Leia's mom. Yeah, married to Darth Vader. Kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Well, 2 weeks from now,
Yep.
Nope will be
Yes.
released.
I'm excited to see that.
Jay
was right.
Yes, I was.
You were.
The one time.
You cynical son of a bitch. He was right.
It's an alien movie.
Yeah.
And to celebrate the fact that we have a alien movie coming out, obviously there'll be social commentary in that film as well. But next week, we will be talking about our top 5 movies with or about aliens.
Awesome.
So
I'm excited.
Yep. I'm excited too. Again, thanks for listening. Comment on our episodes at acastwithnoname.com or shoot us an email. contact.acastwithnoname@gmail.com. Email is also found on our website.
Please comment.
Yeah.
Please email.
Throw in questions or topics for discussion or something.
We'll review a movie if you recommend it.
Give us the most shit movie that you could think of. Not The Apple. If you There's a movie called The Apple. Yeah. You want to put an ice pick in your testicles. That's
The Apple?
a good way to do it.
I can't wait to see it.
Fucking I couldn't finish it. I usually try to finish every movie,
Right.
so I just couldn't do it. But that's a piece of 70s charm
Schlock.
right there. Yeah.
Okay.
That's just weird. But yeah, next week, top 5 movies with or about aliens. So looking forward to it. Thanks for listening again. Hope you enjoyed this podcast more than you enjoyed Thor: Love and Thunder.
I hope so.
If not, let us know in the comments how much we suck.